Elvis, assets declaration and sanctions for non-compliance.
I think I back both the president and the Supreme Court Justice. The current Senegalese president, young man.
Yeah.
When he was elected, before even he was sworn in, he openly put it out. This is what I have before I'm taking public office. He didn't wait for any law to come and tell him that declare assets. He said, these are my assets as of today that I'm going to become president. This is what I own. So it's there for anybody to know. So if tomorrow somebody sees that this president own an asset somewhere else, the person can just say, the list that he put out that is his asset, I think that the man has added something and should be accountable for it. And nothing says that if you declare an asset to say this is what I have, if you are public or you can't add to it. The law doesn't say that. You can add as many as so long as the source of the income you are using to add to it is genuine. That is why when people say it should not be made public, I said, what is wrong with it to be made public?
So think that
if you have 2
confidentiality
cars and you come to public office and you can add another 2 cars, and the source of the money you are using to buy the additional 2 cars is not a public stolen public money, but genuinely maybe your father left some assets, some property for you have sold, or your land somewhere has now been shown to have gold, and a concession is given, and you get royalties, and the royalties is paid to you by government. It's the legitimate source of money. If you have an extra business before becoming a public appointee, and you do the necessary declarations for public to know that this is it, but the business is being managed by A, and they manage the business in 3 years, they say they made so much profit, and that part of the profit has been paid to you as the owner of the business, and you used to go and acquire assets, you have not committed any crime. So you see, the impression, people think that if you declare that you have this, they assume that it means that when you're in a public office, you're not supposed to acquire any asset. That is not the issue. The only thing that we want to prevent is for somebody to dip his or her own hand into public funds, to go and acquire assets which should not be his own. That's why we want to know, what did you have
before
by the time
assuming
you came to power?
the role?
We are not saying that when you are in power, don't add. But we're saying that if you are adding to what you already have before coming to power, we should be able to establish that where you are getting the money to add all those properties are legitimate sources of what? Money making. So I don't see why anybody should be scared of openly saying, this is what I have becoming public office. If 4 years you are exiting office, and you say, within the 4 years, I've added A, B, C, D. These are the sources. The accounts in which the monies came through and everything, you have paid the right taxes on the monies that have come to you. Why should you be scared of people getting to know that once in public office, you made $2 million, and then you bought this and that and that? There's nothing wrong with it. So I don't see why we are scared. That, okay, okay. 2 million. Let's say you made 2 million.
2 million cedis.
Okay, which is far above your salary for the 2 years. Okay, and you use it to acquire assets, and the right taxes have been paid to the government of Ghana on those monies. Who is going to say that there's anything wrong with it? So I think that we need to disabuse the minds of people to understand that nobody is saying that you cannot acquire assets whilst in public office. What we are interested in is that you are going to preside over public funds. And we want to make sure that the public funds you are presiding over do not end up buying properties for yourself. Okay? So we want to make sure that if you are acquiring assets whilst in public office, the sources of the money are legitimate. And the ones that you pay to government in terms of taxes on that you are paying. We don't mind how many assets you acquire in public office. So I believe that the Supreme Court judge is spot on. I think when the CI is done, it will spell out all these things. And then people will become clear and say, oh, then the asset declaration is not anything that anybody should be scared of. But this currency, say, put it in an envelope and keep it somewhere. You are keeping it at that place. How will I know that if Honorable has 2 houses here, how will I know that it's part of what he has declared before I'll be challenging it as a journalist? I will not know what he has declared. And I cannot say that, oh, this house is not part of what has been declared. But if that is a public information, and I know Honorable now owns a house here, and I say, but it's not part of what he declared. Okay, let me go and find out. Why did the Honorable get money to buy this? So that I can establish the source of the money and make sure that it's a genuine money. It's a simple principle. So I think that as long as we are all calling for transparency, it's important. MMDCs are direct representatives of the president. Okay? So they must do it. They must do it. And everybody who is in public office, and not even only people who are, I think that, you see, This asset declaration thing, we have made it like it's for politicians. Look, everybody that is heading public institutions at the level of a director and above, I believe that they should all declare their assets. You are holding public office. The way we are scared that a politician will declare because we think you go and steal. Who said that the head, the CEO or the directors there may not be stealing public money? Who said that? They are all in charge of public funds.
Elvis, not to cut you.
You understand it?
I've been in public office. 30 years been in public office. We don't handle cash. You don't have any direct access to money.
To money.
You understand?
Yeah. and those who are
not dispensing officers.
Money.
Right.
A minister or even you don't.
But those with direct access are not declaring their assets.
Their assets. And
so perhaps we should expand or extend it.
All you do is
just
sign an authorization.
And you see, it's become a layer for the anti-corruption fight.
Right.
Because somebody sits in public office and is acquiring assets, I cannot ask why the person acquiring because. But if the person is mandated to declare his or her asset, do you know the amount of money that chief executive directors and people sign off for people in this country every day, every month, every week? But we are not interested in checking those people. People are in charge of accountability institutions. If you know the asset they own, people tell you, oh, I know this person working at GRA, I know the asset the person owns. I know this person working at NP, I know how much the asset the person. Nobody is saying that these are all public institutions and therefore
always politicians.
And it's always about politicians. And so the politicians they should take interest in this and say that this asset declaration, as the Supreme Court judge has said, when we are doing that CI, we expand it.
Yes.
That so long as you hold public office anywhere in this country, you must also declare asset because the main objective is to protect the public purse. But people who are in charge of huge volumes of money, who are signing off monies every now and then of public funds, we are not interested in knowing how they are making money, how they are getting assets. But we are interested in only because it's a group of people called politicians.
Let me just yesterday, one of these MMDCs came to me. Elvis, I can't believe it. I just want to say this. 1 month that he's been in office, he says, all that he heard that the account of the assembly has been garnished. As to where the judgment came from, as to who has garnished the account, he has no idea. He has asked for information. It's not coming. So every day that the revenue of the assembly is paid into a particular account, he doesn't know what.
There's a district revenue officer who is collecting all those
the finance officer,
who is checking the finance officer's assets, who is checking the finance officer's assets. So you see, we made the law, and the politicians they made the law. So the politicians should know that if we have to fix this thing and remove the pressure from them. As I said, if you are this, are you the one going to sign the check? If you are a minister, are you they will do all the work. And bring you the final product. Sign here. Sign here.
So you are just giving approvals.
You are just like a conveyor belt. But those who are actually making sure that the money moves and all those things, we have not asked them to declare their assets. And that's why the CI has to be done. And when it is being done, please don't leave it to. Don't focus on the politicians. Everybody holding public office at a certain level and above and has the power to authorize
some payments
must be included in asset declaration. I can tell you that the corruption fight we are fighting, this will be one of the ways we can actually make the corruption fight effective. Look, you know, I know we are journalists. There are so many people in public office, the assets they own. And if you ask about their salary, and say this is their salary, you ask yourself, how is this person able to own all these assets?
Worlds apart.
Worlds apart. But then the public is not interested that this person works in a public institution. He doesn't own a private company. But the person owns all these assets. And the person, his salary is 3,000. And when it's coming to work, he wear a shirt that part of it is torn, and wear a shoe that half of it is gone, to pay the impression that his or his salary is so bad that it's not actually making any money. Meanwhile, behind the door, the man is a millionaire who owns so many assets. You go to his house, there are about 4 V8 that have tapo. When he's going to private events, he takes it. But when he comes to work, you come with Uber. So that you say that this man doesn't have money. But these are people who are making fucking money. And I think the one that person will come and say 4 and 8 years, that person is there 30 years until he retires. 40 years until he retires, he's there. And it's making public money. Nobody wants to ask how is that person. So we must expand it. The CI must expand it that as long as you hold public office from a certain level and above, you all must declare your assets. So that when I see you build a house next to me, maybe we are all journalists.
I'll go and check.
And we all know that things are not going. And then I find out that now you work in public office. And in 5 years, your life has transformed more than my own. And I know that when we're in the journalism profession, things were not good. How come you move to public sector in 5 years, your life is changing? Then I can ask questions. But now, you can't get anybody in public office and say, I'm asking a question. Why did you build your assets? Because there's no one that permits me to do that.
Elvis, thank you.